Hello everyone, I'm Coyote Jack, and well, it's been a long time since I covered one of those articles from the New York Post. And so from time to time, I tend to do these videos of historical events. So, historical events of current year is Mexico had their first attempt to go full Nepal. And I'm not saying it wasn't successful, but at least it's sending the message, so it's a good start. The question is, let's see if actually holds up, and more people are agreeing that yeah, the current administration that Mexico has is a fucking cesspool. So you see this headline from the New York Post: Thousands take to streets in Mexico City for Gen Z protest crime and corruption. For the record, not only Gen Z, also the Gen X too. And some millennials, man. Even you can see some grown ass adults here. They were from all ages because they are sick and tired. And all of those were men. Look, even you can see the gray hair there. And even looking at the audio here. Yeah, they took down the wall. Even if you want to see a better summarize of all the videos, check Axe Mongols video. I strongly recommend that one. But I'm going to read you this one first. A few thousand people took the streets to Mexico City on Saturday to protest growing crime. Not only in Mexico City, in other cities in the same country too. Corruption and impunity in a protest organized by members of Generation Z, but which ended with strong backing from older supporters and opposition parties. Even funny enough, because the Gen Z has stated that hell it's even the quote unquote oppositions because they are still woke as fuck and retard. But let's continue. In several countries this year, members of the demographic group born between the late 90s and early 2010s have organized protests against inequality, democratic backsliding, and corruption. And what started all was two things. Three. Increasing of taxes through all hell, the violence and corruption, and yeah, blaming it on video games. And yeah, I say yeah, this one is like kind of cop on me, but I already did some videos talking about how Mexican government labeled gamers in Mexico as criminals as they raise taxes to them and they excuse directly from their mouth from the fucking tiny hat that they have right now is because it was to tackle crime, which it was so fucking idiotic, man. So continue on. We need more security, say Andres Maza, a 29-year-old business consultant who carried the Pirates Code flag that has become a global symbol on Gen Z protests. So it's not only the land of Dragon Ball Z enjoyers, now One Piece too. So Mexico having like the good stuff there, at least recognizing what is something of common understanding. So continuing on, Arisbeth Garcia, a 40-year-old physician who joined the protest, said, okay, so a woman too, okay, she was marching for more funding for the public health systems. Ah, yeah, because in case people don't know, they cut off almost all the entire public health system. Even when the public health system doesn't actually fucking work, it's dog shit. They run out of medicine because they just stole all the money and they keep stealing it while raising taxes to keep funding the public health system. Yeah, I think she's having a very retarded take, but yeah, it's understanding considering what is happening there. Let's continue. And for better security, because doctors, quote unquote, are also exposed to the insecurity grip in the country where you can be murdered and nothing happens. Oh, they mastered what is censorship. Instead of actually putting like certain types of laws, they straight kill someone and they send the chilling effect. So you see this. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum still has high approval ratings despite a recent spate of high-profile murders that includes the assassination of a popular mayor in the western state of Michoacan, which is one of the more the like that caused the domino effect. Carlos Manso, a mayor that actually was fighting the whole fucking cartels in the states and got killed by those that they were sent by the Mexican government using kids. Because in case you don't know, that mayor got killed by underage kids that they were groomed by the gangs, and which they found out that they were part of a socialist program that Mexico founded when they voted for the leftards. But let's continue. In the days leading up to Saturday protests, Sheinbaum accused right-wing parties of trying to infiltrate Gen Z movement. And this one, just like I have to say, yeah, it's true what us Mongols say. This is why not mainstream media is covering it. I'm surprised that not even Fox News covered it, which is like a strong argument because it's a left-wing government accusing the right of the fuck-ups they have done. It's strange, right? But let's continue. And using bots on social media to try to increase attendance. This week, some Gen Z social media influencers say they no longer back at Saturday protests. Now, and also, I have to add this. Actually, during one of those press conferences from the federal government of Mexico, they put of targets. They name it influencers so they can get killed. So they go in full route of, look, this is all right wingers. Saying directly names and their social media accounts. So if the government of Mexico has enough time to investigate those influencers, they have time to actually tackle crime, but they don't want them because they are criminals. Simple as that. Continue on. While elderly figures like former President Vicente Fox and Mexican billionaire Ricardo Salinas Pliego publishing messages in support of protests, and Telares one is on his verge of getting all his savings and all his businesses being seized by the government by unlawful decisions by the what you say the court justice instance that they have rebranded now. But well, I'm saying too much details. It's better for you if you are interested. I'm not saying yeah you should be interested. It's only if you have a little glimpse on interest you can search those. There are articles talking about that. But to end this, Saturday match was attended by people from several age groups, with supporters of the recently killed Michoacan Mayor Carlos Manso attending the protest wearing the straw hats that symbolize his political movement. And it's on point because also when you see One Piece, even though they are pirates, the Marine Force is absolutely corrupt, man. So yeah, I have to say, I have to give props to Eiichiro Oda there. His creation is kind of on point because it's not like he was ahead of his time. It's because this shit has happened for centuries. Only different governments, but sadly the similarities keeps on because most of the time the population are asleep to those issues until they hit rock bottom. Just ask Salvador, just ask Argentina. They had their own issues, but Mexico is on another level because the cartels are so powerful. And you see generations that are losing money, the older ones, the millennial one, and the Gen Z, and also all of those three blame it for all the intentional malicious fuck ups from the government that got installed this woman for committing the fucking globalist agenda. And yeah, what actually make the Gen Z to make the push and encourage the other previous generations to step forward to this protest to finally, yeah, say enough is enough. It was because, yeah, the Gen Z got labeled as criminals for playing video games, for also raising prices on their streaming platforms. And yeah, I already ranted too much about Warner Brothers, Disney, and Crunchy Slot. But even putting that aside, those Gen Zs that even they don't want to pay attention to that side of politics, they realize it that yeah, they are going to get extra hardcore tax because they also added taxes to the streaming platforms, also the ones that want to see anime legally. And at that point, yeah, there is a breakpoint when with these generations and the other ones that end up going in a common understanding that yeah, the government needs to go. And so you have one that cannot get jobs, cannot get medicines, and they want to deprive them of what is the only thing that actually makes their life less miserable through taxation. So yeah, you get this melting pot, just waiting to explode. So yeah, the state is dying, said Rosa Maria Avila, a 65-year-old real estate agent who traveled from the town of Pátzcuaro in Michoacan state. He was killed because he was a man who was sending officers into the mountains to find delinquents. He had the guts to confront them, she said of Manso. And also, you have other cities that they had to resort to, even the arms dealers of the cartels, to arm themselves in order to expel the cartels, and some of those places have succeeded. But also the government. Check the case of Mireles. Mireles is one of those like quote unquote anarchists. If I don't think it's like the correct way to label him, but I cannot think of something like that up the top of my head. He armed the civilians. He also actually encouraged kids to know how to use arms, how to use weapons, rifles, even if they were outdated still learning how to defend themselves. That's why I said it before that the US is so fucking right when it comes to the right to bear arms. Because even if you had a gun, if you're never going to use it in your entire fucking life, it still serves its purpose as a deterrent to keep criminals on check and thinking twice if they want to disrupt someone's home, someone's household, and avoid a tragedy. And yes, I don't see the problem in sending criminals to the afterlife in a span of a moment if it actually keeps the good people alive. And but the government of Mexico has said many times, so we're going to give hugs to the criminals. We are going to stop the guns by not getting ourselves involved with the cartels. Well, the cartels are running rampant. And that's all what I wanted to cover. So yeah, I wanted to bring this article, and yeah, Ask Mongol has a good video because he was streaming whole the protest, man. And yes, even some of them actually took the shields and sodomized it. Well, kind. I don't think they were like completely sodomizing an officer, but yeah, they beat it his ass. And they beat it a lot of asses there. So to give you an example of the result, 20 protesters were arrested and 120 people got injured as the information came out. But to tell you this, 20 injured people were the protesters. The other 100 were the officers. So yeah, no wonder why the government even is scared, because prior to this protest that happened on Saturday, 15th of November of 2025, they just kind of put all of those walls, all those blocks, yeah, with the taxpayer money, because they know full well that if they want to claim that 80%, 90% of approval rate, and putting all of those security measures to protect what is the equivalent of the White House in Mexico, you know they are full of shit. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and please take care.